Hello, beautiful. Today we're talking about something that might surprise you. Certain hairstyles we've loved for years are actually adding years to our appearance. But here's the good news. I'm going to show you exactly which 5 styles to avoid and what to do instead to look fresher, more vibrant, and absolutely radiant. You know that feeling when you look in the mirror and something just feels off? Sometimes it's not about aging. It's about the hairstyle we're choosing. The wrong cut or style can drag down your features, emphasize lines, and make you look tired even when you're feeling fantastic. We're going to walk through 5 common hairstyles that might be aging you right now. I'll explain exactly why they're not doing you any favors, and then I'll give you the modern, flattering alternatives that will lift your face, brighten your eyes, and make you feel like the confident, beautiful woman you are. Each part covers one outdated style: the helmet perm, the severe short crop, the overly long flat hair, the heavy blunt bangs, and the single-length bob. For each one, I'll show you why it's aging you, and give you a fresh replacement that works with your natural beauty at this stage of life. Whether you have thick hair, fine hair, gray hair, or colored hair, these tips will help you choose styles that celebrate your features instead of fighting them. You deserve a hairstyle that makes you feel gorgeous every single day. Let's dive in and transform your look together. You're going to love what we discover. Part 1. The helmet perm that's freezing your face. Let me ask you something. Do you have that tightly permed round style that doesn't move? The one that looks the same every single day, kind of stiff and set? I need you to know this. The helmet perm is aging you dramatically. It creates a heavy, dated look that actually weighs down your features instead of lifting them. Here's what's happening. That super tight, uniform curl pattern sits on your head like a cap. It doesn't move naturally, it doesn't frame your face softly, and it emphasizes the roundness of your face rather than adding dimension. The stiffness makes your whole look feel frozen in time, literally stuck in the past. The solution? Switch to a soft, modern wave or loose curl pattern. Instead of those tight ringlets all over, ask your stylist for larger barrel curls with movement. You want texture that flows, not springs that bounce back into place. Think gentle waves that catch the light and move when you turn your head. Start by letting your current perm grow out a bit. Book an appointment with a stylist who understands mature hair. Someone who can transition you gradually. You don't have to go completely straight, but you want to soften what you've got. Tip 1. Volume without the helmet effect for fine hair that needs body. Ask for a volumizing wave instead of a traditional perm. This gives you lift at the roots without that all-over tight curl. Your stylist uses larger rods placed strategically where you need fullness, usually at the crown and sides. The result? Natural-looking volume that moves beautifully and doesn't scream perm. You'll love how soft it feels when you run your fingers through it. Tip 2. Transitioning gradually. If you're nervous about change, transition slowly over 3 to 4 months. Each appointment, have your stylist relax the curl pattern slightly or trim away the tightest sections. Add some face framing layers that soften the overall shape. This gradual approach lets you get comfortable with the change without shocking yourself in the mirror. You're in control of the pace. That's empowering. Tip 3. Product swap for movement. Replace your stiff hairspray with a flexible hold mousse or sea salt spray. These products give you texture and hold without that crunchy, frozen feeling. Scrunch them into damp hair and let it air dry, or use a diffuser on low heat. Your hair will have beautiful, touchable movement that looks contemporary and fresh. You deserve hair that feels as good as it looks. Tip 4. The right cut makes all the difference. Even if you keep some wave, update your cut with long layers that create movement. Avoid the uniform length that creates that rounded shape. Layers break up the bulk and add dimension, making your hair look fuller in the right places and lighter overall. Ask your stylist to cut into the ends for a softer, more natural finish. Tip 5. Embrace your natural texture. If your hair has natural wave or curl, work with it instead of fighting it with chemicals. Use curl-enhancing cream and let your hair do what it wants to do naturally. You might be surprised how beautiful your texture is when you stop forcing it into submission. Natural always looks more youthful than processed. Variations for your hair type. Thick hair can handle bigger, looser waves with more spacing between curls. Fine hair needs smaller sections with strategic placement for volume. Curly hair should skip the perm entirely and use products to define your natural pattern. Gray hair takes perm solution differently, so ask for gentler formulas that won't damage your strands. Why this works for you. Soft waves and movement create dimension that actually lifts your face. When your hair moves naturally, it draws the eye in a flattering way, up and around your face instead of sitting heavily on top. The modern texture reflects light better, making both your hair and your complexion look more radiant. You'll notice how much younger and fresher you look immediately. Tools and products you need. Invest in a good diffuser attachment for your dryer, flexible hold mousse like Bumble and Bumble or a drugstore alternative, and a wide tooth comb for gentle detangling. These basics will help you maintain your new, softer style at home without frustration. Daily tweaks for lasting results. Refresh your waves each morning with a light mist of water mixed with a bit of leave-in conditioner. Scrunch gently to reactivate the texture. Sleep on a silk pillowcase to prevent frizz and maintain your pattern overnight. Every few days, use a clarifying shampoo to remove product buildup that can weigh down your beautiful new waves. You're doing amazing, keep going. Part 2. The severe ultra-short crop that's hardening your features. Now let's talk about that super short, almost masculine cut you might be wearing. I understand why you chose it. It's easy, it's no fuss, and someone probably told you short hair is more appropriate for your age. But here's the truth. An ultra-short, severe crop can actually harden your features and make you look older and more stern than you really are. Think about what's happening when your hair is cut extremely short all over, especially if it's the same length everywhere. It removes the softness that frames your face. Your features stand out starkly without anything to balance them. If you have a strong jawline, prominent cheekbones, or angular features, this severe crop emphasizes those hard lines rather than softening them. The better choice? A textured pixie or short layered cut with length variation. You still get the ease and manageability you love, but with strategic longer pieces that create movement and femininity. Think soft, piecey texture on top, slightly longer sides that tuck behind your ears, and maybe a longer fringe that sweeps across your forehead. Here's how to transition. Don't wait for it all to grow out. That awkward stage will frustrate you. Instead, book with a skilled stylist who can reshape your cut as it grows, adding layers and texture where you need them. Tip 1. The power of strategic length instead of uniform short length. Keep the back and sides shorter while allowing 2 to 3 inches of length on top and at the crown. This creates height and dimension that lifts your face visually. Your stylist can texturize these longer sections with razoring or point cutting techniques that add movement. When you style it, you can push it forward, sweep it to the side, or add a little height, options that make you feel more feminine and current. Tip 2. Softening around your face. The area around your face is crucial. Ask your stylist to leave slightly longer pieces near your ears and temples. Even just an extra ½ inch makes a huge difference. These pieces soften the transition from your hair to your face, creating a gentler, more flattering frame. If you have good cheekbones, longer side pieces can actually highlight them in a beautiful way instead of exposing everything harshly. Tip 3. Texture is your best friend. A severe cut is usually blunt and uniform. Adding texture through layering, point cutting, or thinning breaks up that harsh line and creates movement. Ask your stylist to add texture throughout, especially at the ends. This makes your hair look more natural, less done, and much more contemporary. You'll love running your fingers through it and feeling that softness instead of stubble. Tip 4. The fringe that changes everything. Consider adding a longer, side-swept fringe or soft bangs that graze your eyebrows. This single element can completely transform a severe crop into something feminine and flattering. The fringe draws attention to your eyes, softens your forehead, and creates a symmetry that's inherently more interesting and youthful. It's a game changer, truly. Tip 5. Styling makes the difference. Even the best cut looks severe if you style it flat against your head. Use a lightweight styling cream or texturizing paste to create piece-wide definition and lift at the roots. Work product through with your fingers, creating separation and movement rather than slicking everything down. A little bit of controlled messiness looks modern and fresh. You don't need to be perfectly groomed every second. Variations for your hair type. Thick hair can handle more dramatic layers and texturizing without looking too thin. Fine hair needs softer, more subtle layers to maintain enough density while still adding movement. Wavy hair looks gorgeous in a textured pixie. Let those waves show. Straight hair benefits from extra texturizing to avoid looking too blunt and severe. Why this works for you. Softness and movement around your face create an instantly more youthful, approachable appearance. The strategic length variation gives you dimension that plays with light and shadow, making your features look more refined rather than harsh. You'll notice people respond to you differently, more warmly, because your hairstyle now matches the kind, beautiful person you are inside. Tools and products you need. Get a good texturizing paste like Bumble and Bumble Sumo Tech, or an affordable alternative, a small round brush for adding volume, and a lightweight finishing spray. These 3 items will help you style your new cut beautifully at home between appointments. Daily tweaks for lasting results. Apply texturizing product to damp hair each morning, then blow dry while lifting at the roots with your fingers or a small brush. This takes maybe 3 minutes but makes all the difference. Refresh during the day by running slightly damp fingers through your hair to reactivate the product. Book trims every 4 to 6 weeks to maintain the shape. This cut needs maintenance, but it's so worth it for how amazing you'll look and feel. Part 3. The overly long flat hair that's dragging everything down. Can we talk honestly about long hair after 60? I know you might love your length, you've had it for years, maybe decades. But if your hair is hanging long, flat, and lifeless past your shoulders, it's literally dragging your whole face down with it. The weight of that length, especially if your hair has thinned over the years, creates a visual pull that emphasizes sagging and makes you look tired. Here's what's really going on. As we mature, our hair naturally loses some density and often becomes finer. When fine hair grows long, it lies flat against your head, especially if it's all one length. There's no volume, no movement, no lift. That flatness at the crown makes your face look longer and droopier. The ends often look wispy and thin, drawing the eye downward instead of creating any upward lift. Your solution is a collarbone length cut with layers. This is the sweet spot. Long enough to feel feminine and versatile, short enough to have body and movement. The layers create volume where you need it most, and the length hits right at that flattering spot that frames your face beautifully. Making this change can feel scary, I know. Start by talking with your stylist about taking off just 2 to 3 inches and adding long layers. You don't have to go dramatically short all at once. Transition gradually until you find your perfect length. Tip 1. The collarbone sweet spot. Cutting your hair to collarbone or slightly above creates an optical illusion that actually lifts your face. This length hits at exactly the right spot to draw the eye horizontally across your shoulders rather than straight down. Ask your stylist for a slightly angled cut, just a bit shorter in the back, gradually longer toward the front. This subtle angle adds sophistication and creates movement when you turn your head. You'll feel the difference immediately when you look in the mirror. Tip 2. Layers that create volume. The key to avoiding that flat, lifeless look is strategic layering throughout. Don't just layer the top. You need layers that start at chin level and graduate down to your ends. This removes weight, allows your hair to lift naturally, and creates dimension. Ask your stylist to use a technique called invisible layering that adds movement without obvious choppy layers. Your hair will have beautiful body and swing that catches the light. Tip 3. Face framing magic. Request face framing layers that start around your cheekbones or chin and blend into your overall length. These shorter pieces around your face create a lifting effect that's incredibly flattering. They draw attention to your eyes and cheekbones while softening your jawline. When you style these pieces with a round brush, they curve inward toward your face, creating that salon-finished look you love. Tip 4. Dealing with thin ends. If your ends look wispy and thin, it's time to let them go. Better to have slightly shorter hair that looks full and healthy than longer hair that looks sparse. Ask your stylist to cut blunt, slightly heavy ends that create the appearance of thickness. You can always add texturizing to the very tips to soften them without making them look stringy. Trust me, fuller-looking shorter hair always looks better than long, thin straggles. Tip 5. Volume at the crown is everything. To counteract flatness, you need lift at the crown and roots. Ask your stylist to add shorter layers specifically at the crown area. These will lift up rather than lying flat. At home, use a volumizing mousse at your roots before blow drying, and consider using Velcro rollers or a round brush to create height. Even 10 minutes with rollers while you do your makeup makes a dramatic difference in how lifted and youthful your hair looks. Variations for your hair type. Thick hair can handle more dramatic layering, and can even go slightly longer without looking flat. Fine hair absolutely needs that collarbone length and lots of layers to look full. Wavy or curly hair looks stunning at this length. The texture adds natural volume. Straight hair needs the most attention to layering and styling to avoid flatness. Why this works for you. Medium-length layered hair creates an upward and outward movement that visually lifts your entire face. The volume at the crown balances your features and makes your face look more heart-shaped and youthful rather than elongated. Movement and dimension reflect light beautifully, making both your hair and your skin look more vibrant and healthy. You'll love how much more polished and put together you look with minimal effort. Tools and products you need. Invest in a medium-sized round brush, 2-inch barrel, volumizing mousse for roots, and a lightweight hairspray. Optional but helpful. A set of large Velcro rollers for creating volume when you have a bit more time to style. Daily tweaks for lasting results. Apply volumizing mousse to roots on damp hair, then blow dry with your head flipped upside down for the first few minutes. This creates natural lift. Finish by smoothing the lengths with your round brush. Between washes, use dry shampoo at the roots to maintain volume. Sleep with your hair in a loose, low ponytail to maintain shape overnight without creating bends. You're looking more beautiful every single day. Keep at it. Part 4. The heavy blunt bangs that are hiding your beautiful eyes. Let's talk about those heavy, straight-across bangs sitting right at your eyebrows or even lower. Maybe you got them to hide forehead lines, or maybe you've just always worn them this way. But here's what I need you to understand. Heavy blunt bangs are actually making you look older, not younger. They're hiding your beautiful eyes, creating a harsh horizontal line across your face, and adding visual weight exactly where you don't want it. Think about the effect. Those thick, blunt bangs create a heavy, severe look that draws a dark line across your forehead. Instead of softening your face, they're chopping it in half visually. They hide your eyebrows, those expressive features that lift your whole face. And if your bangs are too long, they might even be obscuring your eyes, which are your most youthful and engaging feature. What should you do instead? Switch to soft, side-swept bangs or a curtain bang that parts in the middle. These modern alternatives give you forehead coverage if you want it, but in a way that's flattering, feminine, and actually draws attention to your eyes rather than hiding them. The transition is easier than you think. Start by parting your current bangs to the side and pinning them while they grow out slightly, or have your stylist thin them out and add texture immediately to soften the blunt edge. Tip 1. The side-swept game changer. Instead of straight-across bangs, sweep them dramatically to one side, starting the part above your eye or temple. This creates a diagonal line that's much more flattering than a horizontal one. It adds visual lift instead of cutting across your face. Ask your stylist to cut your bangs at an angle, longer on one side and gradually shorter as they blend into your hair. Style them by blow-drying to the side with a round brush. This asymmetry is inherently more youthful and interesting. Tip 2. Curtain bangs for softness. Curtain bangs, parted in the middle with longer pieces framing each side of your face, are incredibly flattering for mature faces. They're longest at the center part, around your nose or chin, and gradually get shorter as they blend into your layers. This creates a soft face-framing effect that highlights your eyes and cheekbones. Ask your stylist to keep them wispy and textured, not thick and heavy. You can style them with a small round brush, curving them away from your face. Tip 3. Thinning and texturizing. If you want to keep some version of bangs but need to lighten them up, ask your stylist to thin them out significantly. Heavy, thick bangs need to be texturized with thinning shears or point-cutting techniques that remove bulk while maintaining coverage. The result should be soft, piecewise bangs that move when you turn your head, not a solid curtain of hair. This texture makes them look modern and effortless instead of heavy and dated. Tip 4. The right length is critical. Blunt bangs should never sit right at your eyebrows. That's the worst possible length because it literally covers your expression. If you're keeping bangs, they should either be much shorter like a micro bang that shows your forehead, or longer, grazing your eyelashes or swooping to the side. The eyebrow length is aging and harsh. Even raising them by half an inch to show your eyebrows makes a tremendous difference in how open and youthful your face looks. Tip 5. Styling makes all the difference. Blunt bangs styled flat against your forehead are particularly aging. Always style bangs with some lift and movement. Use a small round brush to create a gentle curve, rolling them slightly up and outward rather than straight down. This creates space between your bangs and your forehead, adding dimension and preventing that heavy, flat look. A little volume in your bangs coordinates beautifully with volume in the rest of your hair. Variations for your hair type. Thick hair can handle fuller curtain bangs but still needs texturizing to avoid heaviness. Fine hair should go for wispy, see-through bangs with lots of texture. You can't support heavy bangs without them looking overwhelming. Wavy hair creates beautiful natural movement in sideswept or curtain bangs. Straight hair needs the most attention to styling to create that curve and movement. Why this works for you? Soft, swoopy bangs draw attention directly to your eyes, making them the focal point of your face. The diagonal or parted lines create visual lift instead of cutting your face in half horizontally. Movement and texture make you look current and stylish rather than stuck in the past. Opening up your forehead area, even partially, makes your whole face look more youthful and approachable. Tools and products you need. Get a small round brush, 1-inch barrel, specifically for styling bangs, a lightweight styling cream or pomade for piece-wide texture, and maybe a mini flat iron for precise styling. These tools give you control over your bang shape daily. Daily tweaks for lasting results. Wash your bangs separately from the rest of your hair. They get oily faster. Blow dry them first while the rest of your hair is still damp, using your small round brush to create the shape you want. Throughout the day, if they fall flat, mist with a tiny bit of water and restyle with your fingers or brush. Touch them as little as possible. The oils from your fingers will make them look greasy. You're doing beautifully and your eyes are going to shine. Word count: 643. Part 5. The single-length bob that's adding years and weight. Now for our final outdated style, the blunt single-length bob. You know the one I'm talking about. Every strand cut to exactly the same length all the way around, usually hitting somewhere between your chin and shoulders. It might seem classic and tidy, but this style is actually quite aging because it creates a heavy, boxy shape that emphasizes the width of your face and adds visual weight right at your jawline. Let me explain what's happening. A single-length bob has no dimension, no movement, no interest. It sits in one solid line around your head, creating a blocky silhouette. If you have any fullness in your face, this style makes it look fuller. If you have a strong jaw, it emphasizes it. There's no softening, no face framing. Just a blunt horizontal line that draws attention to exactly the areas most of us want to minimize. Your better option? An angled bob with layers, or a long layered bob lob with face framing pieces. These updated versions give you the convenience and sophistication of a bob length, but with dimension, movement, and a flattering shape that actually works with your features. To transition, you don't need to cut off length necessarily, you need to add layers and angle. Book with a skilled stylist who can reshape your existing bob into something more dimensional and modern. Tip 1. The angled bob revolution instead of all one length. Ask for an angled bob that's slightly longer in the front than the back. Even just an inch of difference transforms the whole look. The angle creates a diagonal line that lifts your face visually and draws the eye toward your features rather than across your jaw. This subtle graduation adds sophistication and modernity. When you turn your head, people see movement and interest instead of a static helmet. The front pieces frame your face beautifully while the back sits neatly at your nape. Tip 2. Layering for movement and volume. A single-length bob sits heavily and doesn't move. Adding internal layers throughout the hair, not just on top, removes weight and creates swing and bounce. Ask your stylist for invisible layers or interior layers that don't show obvious lines but create movement. This technique maintains the overall bob shape while making your hair feel lighter and look more voluminous. You'll love how your hair swings when you walk and catches the light at different angles. Tip 3. Face framing is everything. The most important part of updating your bob is adding face framing layers. Ask your stylist to cut shorter pieces that start at your cheekbone or chin and blend into your overall length. These pieces should curve gently toward your face when styled, creating a softening effect around your jawline and drawing attention up to your eyes and cheekbones. This simple addition changes the entire dynamic of how your haircut interacts with your facial features. Tip 4. Texture at the ends softens everything. Blunt, chopped off ends look harsh and dated. Ask your stylist to soften your ends with point cutting or razor techniques that create texture and movement. The ends should look slightly piecewise and lived in rather than perfectly uniform. This textured finish makes your bob look effortless and contemporary instead of severe and controlled. It's the difference between looking like you tried too hard and looking naturally stylish. Tip 5. Styling techniques that add life. Even the best layered bob looks flat if you don't style it properly. Use a round brush when blow-drying to create volume at the roots and a gentle curve at the ends, either under toward your neck or flipped slightly outward for a more playful look. Consider using a flat iron or curling iron to add waves or bends throughout for extra dimension. The key is creating texture and movement, rather than styling it perfectly smooth and flat. Variations for your hair type. Thick hair can handle a chin-length bob with lots of layers to remove bulk. Fine hair looks best slightly longer, at collarbone, with subtle layers to maintain density while adding movement. Wavy hair is gorgeous in a textured bob. Let those waves show instead of straightening them flat. Straight hair needs the most attention to adding texture through cutting techniques and styling. Why this works for you. An angled layered bob creates dimension that literally lifts your face. The movement draws the eye in flattering directions, up toward your eyes, along the diagonal angle, around the soft curves of the layers. This dynamic shape makes you look current and stylish, not stuck in the past. The softness around your face minimizes any areas you're self-conscious about while highlighting your best features. You'll feel more confident and beautiful every time you catch your reflection. Tools and products you need. Invest in a good round brush, 2-inch barrel, a flat iron or 1.25-inch curling iron for adding texture, volumizing mousse for roots, and a light texturizing spray for piece-wide ends. These basics will help you recreate that salon look at home. Daily tweaks for lasting results. Apply volumizing mousse to damp roots, then blow dry with your round brush, focusing on creating lift at the crown and a slight bend at the ends. If you have time, add a few waves or bends with your styling iron for extra dimension. Refresh second-day hair with dry shampoo at the roots and a bit of texturizing spray on the ends. Book regular trims every 6 to 8 weeks to maintain the angle and layers. This cut needs maintenance to look its best. You're absolutely glowing now, and this updated bob is going to make you feel incredible every single day. You've just discovered the 5 hairstyles that were aging you and exactly what to do instead. Now you have the knowledge to make changes that will take years off your appearance and make you feel absolutely radiant. Remember, these aren't just arbitrary style rules. These are strategic choices that work with your features, not against them. Soft waves instead of helmet perms. Textured pixies instead of severe crops. Medium-length layers instead of long flat hair. Side-swept or curtain bangs instead of heavy blunt ones. Angled layered bobs instead of single-length cuts. Each of these changes creates lift, dimension, and movement that flatters your face at this beautiful stage of life. You deserve a hairstyle that makes you feel gorgeous, confident, and completely yourself. Take these tips to your stylist, show them this video if it helps. Make the changes gradually if that feels more comfortable, or go for a dramatic transformation if you're ready. Either way, you're taking control of your look and choosing to present the best version of yourself to the world. I'm so proud of you for being here, learning, and investing in yourself. You're beautiful, you're valuable, and you deserve to look and feel amazing every single day. If this helped, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path and comment your results.